Tonight we are delighted to honor Virginia Stowers with our Vision to Action Award. This is the highest recognition awarded by the Center and is reserved for those individuals who have, through their leadership, vision, and commitment, demonstrated to us and to those they live and work with the highest ethical standards of conduct that are essential elements to a life that is driven by shared values and the virtues that we all aspire to. Virginia's lifelong commitment to her family, this community, the field of healthcare, especially nursing, and biomedical research are driving forces in her life. Her quiet nature and humble manner can often betray the quiet conviction and devotion to causes that she believes in and supports. When we met recently to reminisce a bit about Virginia's time and service on the board of directors of the Center in the mid-90s, we also reflected on her vision to ensure that the Stowers Institute would become a reality for Kansas City and the nation. In that gathering, I learned a lot more about the spirit and the dream of Virginia that she shared with her husband, Jim, in creating the Stowers Institute. Daughter Linda and daughter-in-law Michelle made it perfectly clear to everybody in that gathering that the CEO of the Stowers family was named Virginia, and that she shared a strong partnership with her husband, Jim, in shepherding the Stowers Institute into reality. That was in addition to seeing her own 3-decade career as a nurse anesthetist and rearing of her 4 children. I also learned that Virginia's devotion to Rose Brooks, a domestic shelter and innovative program to break the cycle of family violence, held a special place in her heart for a long, long time. It's an organization that holds to one of the same tenets as the Center: to advocate and to protect those who are the most vulnerable and speak with them and for them when their voice is silenced. And speaking of silence, in keeping with her reserved style, Virginia agreed to this honor with the stipulation that she wouldn't have to speak. We are still in hopes that she might break that proviso for us tonight, but just in case she doesn't, I would like to welcome to the podium Virginia and her son Jim, and he will share with you a little more about what a graceful woman of conviction who he has known first as mother and also as the leader of the family and the leadership in this community in bringing the Stowers Institute into reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Virginia and Jim Stowers.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all the people at the Center for all the great work they do. And Will, what a you're starting us off very tough for me. You're an amazing son, and the story you tell is priceless. I'm anxious to hear the books that maybe my mother will come up with. We're very fortunate to have you here tonight. Thank you. Other family here, I've got my sister Kathleen Potter and her husband Jim, my sister Linda, as well as my wife Michelle and my son James. We also welcome many other friends that are here joining us, as well as friends and leaders from American Century and the Stowers Institute. Thanks for coming. How appropriate for us to be gathered just a few days before Mother's Day, a day that frankly should be acknowledged every day. I heard a fun fact. The first official celebration of Mother's Day took place in West Virginia. Maybe that's why my grandparents named her Virginia. Well, I could talk for hours, but I promised my wife I would keep it short. I was asked to give a bio, a little bit more detail than what we heard from John. Maybe a fairly typical mom, so here goes. She was born and raised in Rawlins, Wyoming. She got a nursing degree. She met a great man and married. She raised 4 children. She defended and tended the castle while nursing part-time. She survived cancer. She co-founded a medical research organization, and she serves on the board of an investment management company here in Kansas City, all while maintaining a humble and low profile. So maybe not so typical, but typical, yes, she was born in Rawlins, Wyoming. She got a nursing degree with an affiliate of Regis University in Denver, then studied at Research Hospital School of Nursing here in Kansas City. That's where she met my father at a Research Hospital Christmas party, and they soon married in 1954. She defended and tended to the castle, raising 4 children while making use of her nursing skills, while my father focused on building 20th Century, which he started in 1958 in an office in a basement here on the Country Club Plaza. My dad always credited his business success to my mother's patience and support through countless early struggles that allowed him to keep his focus on the goal of achieving financial independence for the family. She holds honorary doctorates from University of Missouri, Kansas City, University of St. Mary, Rockhurst University, and Research College of Nursing. She co-founded the Stowers Institute with my father on September 26 of 1994. Their vision was to build a world-class medical research organization right here in Kansas City. It was modeled after the Howard Hughes Institute created in 1985. When it was completed, the plan, they pushed it in front of me and asked me, when we're gone, this is what we would like you and others to create. I quickly pushed it right back to them and said, no, you need to step up, create this to reflect your true desires for what the Institute will look like, its mission, its vision, and enjoy its progress before you are gone. This might be one of the few times my parents acted on my advice. And boy, did they deliver. Today, she stands above what has become a globally respected institution for conducting meaningful research with a goal to impact human health. Thanks to so many great people who joined them in their pursuit for their dream. I may not do this with the same intonation and color, but my wife has said, make no mistake about it. The Institute would not be here if it wasn't for Virginia. Here in our community, she served on numerous boards, as John pointed out, including Rose Brooks and this board in the mid-90s. She then stepped up once again and accepted a position on the American Century Board to provide for continuity in name, character, and vision. So I've learned from Mom. Excuse me. I've learned to be humble, to be hardy, patient, and calm under pressure. We're talking about a anesthetist here who has seen it all. She's delivered babies, she's kept people alive during surgery, and well, she had to raise me, not to mention 3 sisters. She taught me to be a gentleman, how to open doors, more valuable than those characteristics. She taught me to be frugal. She used to make sisters clothes when they were young, and for me, she made a down coat that during its creation blanketed the house with down filler like a new snowfall. She was not a spender, but thrifty and a saver like my father. I like to say I picked a great mother. Actually, I'm very lucky. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Jim. Favorite son, by the way.
The only son.
John, thank you for all you and the others at the center do that is so important to all of us. Speaking of vision to action, most people would not take a chance on building something like the Stowers Institute in Kansas City. It's just too risky. We visited several national science experts for their opinion. They said, you have to be on the coast. Better yet, just give us your money and we'll take care of it. You need, my husband heard that several times while setting up 20th century, which is now American century. You just have to be on the East Coast. Putting our vision into action, we wanted to create something that would allow scientists to conduct their best work. Shockingly, when we asked the scientists what the most important feature would be at the Institute for them and their lab, might be, they said, we would like to have a window. I don't know whether you've seen very many labs, but most of them are in a basement. That's why when we set out to build one of the most attractive facilities in the scientific world here in the Midwest, the science could feel special, be productive, and be able to look out a window and maybe have a vision. Thank you.
As is the tradition of the center, rather than giving an award in the physical sense, the center honors our Vision to Action awardees by making contributions to a scholarship fund for interested individuals who work at the center, either through internships or scholarships for students in attending our workshops and bioethics programs and certificate programs. So in honor of Virginia, that she said that was really a good idea. She didn't need any more crystal in her house than was already there. So we appreciate her willingness to dispense with a physical display of affection and honor her life and her work with a gift to others, which is so fitting. So thank you, Virginia. I would now like for you to please turn your attention to the screens for our final journeys.